Around about 15 minutes until play gets underway, and we're over in the grand old pavilion here at the Oval, sort of area where so many great scenes have taken place here. Who can remember the days when the crowd used to collect just in front of us? 1953, of course, the famous occasion when the Ashes were last claimed here. And the boys are with me. Let's start with the dressing rooms, fellas. Michael Atherton, how will England's dressing room be right now?
I think they'll be a little bit nervous, inevitably. They wouldn't be human if there weren't those nerves, because the Ashes are so close but so far away in a sense. I also think, though, they'll be confident. I think at the very start of the series, the first game, I don't think deep down England thought they were a better team than Australia, but I think what's happened throughout the series has shifted that perception. I think they genuinely feel they're a better team than Australia, and they'll be confident just to bat out the day, I think, and bat Australia out of the game.
Michael, if there's been a change in England's perception of themselves, has there been a change in Australians' perception of themselves?
Yeah, look, I think there has. It's been a real self-exploration, this whole tour, and a lot has been revealed. They realise now the bar that they set has been matched, and now they've got to try and lift it again, but it might be England raising it. But I think in terms of the Australian dressing room this morning, they'll be turning it to, they want to look forward to the day. I was watching them doing their warm-up. There was a lot of laughter, a lot of fun, not too many specific things going on, as in cricket specific. There was a lot of kicking balls around, and they're just trying to get this unit together. But I think they're going to look forward to the challenge. Running out of time, obviously, but it's a great challenge for them.
We had a chat with Ashley Giles a bit earlier, Michael did, but Australia chose to keep their counsel this morning.
Yeah, it's unlike them to do that. They've always been very available to the media right throughout the time I've been involved. I'm just trying to think of a reason. Perhaps they realise that this is it, and perhaps they got together last night and said, right, fellas, we don't want to be distracted in any way. Tomorrow morning is the last day of this Ashes series, and if we're going to save anything, we're going to have to do it. Let's just forget about everyone else and just concentrate on our own game. That may be the reason. I'd like to think so. I think it would be very sad if the Australians at this stage started to arc up and want to ignore the media and blame others.
No, I don't believe that for a minute, nor do you. You've got a good reason, have you?
Well, I think they're probably miffed about the light. The umpires coming off when there was one spinner on chain one and they were going to bowl another one, and Michael Clarke. And I think they might be miffed about that. They know that people like yourself will ask that question because it's there begging to be asked, and they don't want to answer it. If they say the wrong thing, they get into trouble, they get fined. So it's best to say nothing.
You can say no comment.
Yeah, look,
doesn't look good.
I don't think it's such a big thing.
It's not a big thing.
What is there to say? Everybody knows what has to be done today. England have to bat out. Australia got to bowl England out in 2 sessions.
It has happened in the past, where it's like, let's just have a bit of lockdown. It's a lot different for a player to turn up. No, there's no outside influence. They're just getting themselves together for hopefully putting on one last spurt in the series.
It's not a big thing at all. In fact, let's move well on from it and go to the key figures, because I was just talking on the pitch about the fact that Shane Warne is a key figure, and there is a bit of rough stuff outside leg stump. But what about the seamers, Michael? Who are the men that can back Warne up?
Well, Glenn McGrath, obviously, but it could be a young man like Sean Tate who comes in with that fire and he's just letting it rip, and we've seen him, he can be a little bit erratic, but he's got a terrific wicket-taking ball, and if he can just get it a little bit more right today than he has done in the past, he could prove to be very valuable for Ricky Ponting. But there's no doubt it's the Warne factor, but don't discount the likes of Tate as well.
Greggy, do you see them sort of closing in on England? Do you see vultures praying for a kill? Will they sense the fact that England are nervous?
Well, the vultures will be there. Whether they get a bite at all is another question. I think England are going to bat them out of this match today. Sure, Warne is always an unknown factor. McGrath, in this match he's been a little offline. Understandably, he's not bowled very much. But if Warne gets 2 or 3 quick wickets, then we could see yet another very close Test match. But my feeling is that England will bat Australia out of the game today.
Is it harder to bat, Jeffrey, when you're batting to save something rather than win it?
Depends who you are. Depends on the mentality. Some players can do it and bat for long periods in a defensive mode. Michael could do it. I could, but not everybody can. I think Australia, I think it really depends on Australia how they go about it. Shane Warne will attack from one end, and I think he'll get some wickets throughout the day. It's what they do at the other end. Do they decide to try and block it up and let Shane get most of the wickets? Or do they try and strike with Brett Lee? I think he could have some effect, but as they strike, England will get runs off the seamers particularly, and even if they bowl England out, at some stage it's how many overs are left and can they chase the total. So that's why I mean there's got to be a balance between saving runs and getting wickets.
When you embark on batting on a day like this, Michael, do you go about it with the mental approach that you have to play as naturally as you can and therefore take every opportunity to score, or do you go more into a shell?
Well, I think you play as naturally as you can. You don't want to take undue risks. That's the key thing. But if the scoring opportunities are there, it's vital to take them, because at the end of the day, if England are 250 on by tea, then the game is out of Australia's reach.
Yeah, it's very hard for the modern-day player to really pull it in and play a conservative game. So they've got to find that balance. Like Ricky Ponting at Old Trafford, he had the first perfect balance between attack and defence, and the loose ball he was still putting away. And so you've got to find that balance, and that can be a very hard thing to do when you are trying to save.
Well, he's right, because the way the modern game is played with said, it's 4-day test matches if you don't have rain or bad light. Players play a lot more shots, they score quicker, there's great entertainment and excitement, so then they've got to rein themselves in. Very hard for them to do.
This is an aggressive batting lineup. I don't want it to change. I want them to play their normal game. Every run scored by England is worth 2, because Australia have to score those runs at the end of the day. And well, there's a very exciting, one of the great things, a very exciting middle order in this lineup. I want to see Flintoff out there. I want to see Kevin Peterson out there smashing it all around the ground today. The
best thing for the game is if England were bowled out sometime just after tea and left Australia 30 overs to get 200, and they have to smash it like mad, and then England win because they commit harry-carry.
There's another twist.
Yeah, well, it just shows you that there are a lot of twists available. I think the crowd have an enormous part to play, actually. I can see this audience here at the Oval, and indeed all of you around the country, being in England's mind and helping them through the day. We'll take a break, and when we come back, everything will be revealed.
But you was 2 runs.
I'll bet 3.
Sorted.
That's gonna hurt.
On the ground, all the spectators here have just stood to sing Jerusalem. It's been a theme throughout the summer, just 5 minutes or so before play begins. And it's set to pictures of the England team in action on the big screen, and provides an atmosphere of patriotism . Here come the Australians. The last day of a test series that none of us will ever forget. Just listen. Staggering scenes, and to think it's all come down to this, the very last day of a series that we will never forget. And in the comedy box to reflect on it are Michael Atherton and Richie Benaud.
Thanks, Mark. Morning, everyone. Stirring moments. Anticipation on everyone's face around the ground. Jerusalem has just been sung, and everyone is waiting for this final day.